John 20, the empty tomb and the risen Lord. It was the first day of the week, and the sky still wore the last shade of night. Mary Magdalene walked to the tomb where Jesus had been laid, carrying sorrow like a weight she could not set down. When she arrived, the stone was no longer sealing the entrance. The place that should have been closed in silence stood open. Startled, Mary ran to Simon Peter and to the other disciple, the one Jesus loved. Breathless, she cried, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they put him." Peter and the other disciple took off at once. They ran through the dim streets. The younger reached the tomb first and bent low to look inside. He saw linen strips lying where a body should have been, but he did not enter. Peter arrived moments later, pushed past the threshold, and saw it clearly. The burial cloths and the separate head covering set in its place, not thrown aside, not stolen, left with intention. The other disciple stepped in, saw what Peter saw, and belief began to break through the darkness. They did not yet understand how the scriptures had always pointed here, to a rising after death. But something had awakened. They returned to where they were staying, stunned and silent. Mary remained outside the tomb, tears threading down her face. She stooped to look within and saw two figures clothed in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head, one at the foot. "Woman, why are you weeping?" they asked. "They have taken my Lord," she answered, "and I do not know where they have put him." She turned, and there stood Jesus, but grief can blur the clearest sight, and she did not recognize him. "Woman, why are you weeping?" he asked gently. "Whom are you seeking?" Thinking him the gardener, she pleaded, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have placed him, and I will take him." Then he spoke her name, Mary. At the sound of it, the fog lifted. She turned fully toward him, heart leaping. "Rabboni! Teacher, Lord, alive. Do not hold on to me," Jesus said, tender and firm. "For I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary went and carried the news that reshapes the world. "I have seen the Lord." She told them everything he had said. That evening, the disciples gathered behind locked doors. Fear of the authorities made the room small and the air thin. And then, Jesus stood among them. No latch turned, no hinges creaked, only a presence and a voice. "Peace be with you." He showed them his hands and his side, the wounds now testifying to a love stronger than death. Joy flooded the room. Fear loosened its grip. Again he said, "Peace be with you. As the Father sent me, so I am sending you." Then he breathed on them, a holy wind in a shuttered house. "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone their sins, they are forgiven. If you withhold forgiveness, it is withheld." Their vocation took shape in that breath. Mercy carried into the world by those who had been shown mercy. One of the 12, Thomas, called the twin, was not there. When the others told him, "We have seen the Lord," Thomas drew a line he thought faith required. "Unless I see the nail marks and place my finger into them and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." A week later, the doors were locked once more. This time Thomas was with them. Again, Jesus stood among them as surely as breath fills lungs. "Peace be with you." He turned to Thomas, not to shame him, but to meet him where doubt had built its wall. "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and place it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Thomas touched truth and found himself touched by it. "My Lord and my God," he cried, the simplest, deepest creed. Jesus said, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe." That blessing stretches forward like sunrise, reaching into every century, searching every heart that hears this story. Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, far more than could be gathered onto any page. But these are told so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing, you may have life in his name. The empty tomb was not an absence. It was an opening. The folded cloths were not a puzzle. They were a signature. The locked doors were not a barrier. They were a backdrop for peace to appear. And the doubt of one disciple was not a failure. It became a doorway through which countless believers would walk. What can we learn from this story? The risen Christ meets each heart in the language it understands. Mary in her grief, the disciples in their fear, Thomas in his doubt. The lesson is not believe harder, but bring what is real. Your tears, your questions, your trembling. And expect Jesus to call you by name. Breathe peace into your closed rooms and invite your hands to touch living truth. Resurrection is not merely an event to admire. It is a life to receive. A peace that unlocks doors, a spirit that sends, and a love that transforms wounds into witnesses. Where in your life do you most need to hear? Peace be with you. And to believe it enough to open the door?